Once words are vectors, you can compare them by angle. That's the trick. The measure is called cosine similarity. 5 lines of Python. It runs half the internet, every search engine, every recommendation system, every retrieval-augmented generation pipeline. All of it, a dot product divided by 2 magnitudes. Simplest useful function in machine learning. There are other similarity measures. Euclidean distance, Jaccard, raw dot product. They all give different answers on the same vectors, different tools for different problems. But cosine is the default. Every time you Google something, every time ChatGPT retrieves context, cosine similarity ran under the hood. Today, why? Last video I told you Firth was right, meaning lives in co-occurrence, which means once you've built Word2Vec or Glove or BERT vectors, you have a bunch of coordinates in high-dimensional space. Nice. Now what? If you want a search engine, you need to compare the query to the documents. If you want RAG, you need to compare the question to the knowledge chunks. You need a measure. And the measure choice actually matters. The puzzle. You have 300-dimensional word vectors. What does it mean for them to be similar? There are multiple defensible answers. Some care about the direction the vector points. Some care about the length. Some care about which components overlap. Each choice gives you a different notion of similarity and a different downstream system. Today's 3 beats. First, cosine similarity. The formula, the geometry, and why ignoring vector length is a feature, not a bug. Second, the alternatives. Euclidean, Jaccard, dot product, when each one is the right tool, and why cosine wins by default. Third, practical Python. The 5 lines, where you actually use them, and why cosine is the default in modern search and RAG. Beat 1, cosine similarity. The formula. Take the dot product of 2 vectors, divide by the product of their magnitudes. That's it. What you get is a number between -1 and +1. +1 means the vectors point in exactly the same direction. 0 means they're perpendicular. -1 means opposite directions. In practice with real word embeddings, values run between about 0 and 1, and the interesting range is roughly 0.3 to 0.9. Geometrically, you're measuring the angle between the vectors. 2 vectors pointing in the same direction have cosine 1. 2 vectors pointing opposite directions have cosine -1. The magnitude, the length of the vector, doesn't matter, and that's the key property, because it means a long dog vector and a short dog vector are treated as same. Only the direction carries meaning. Why is ignoring length a feature? Because vector length often correlates with things you don't care about. Word frequency, document length, total signal energy. If dog appears 50 times in a long article, its vector might be huge. If dog appears twice in a tweet, its vector might be small. But you want to say, same word, same meaning. Cosine gives you that. Direction over length, meaning over amplitude. That's the whole reason it's the default. Beat 2. Alternatives. First, Euclidean distance, straight line distance between the 2 vector endpoints. Feels intuitive, works fine for low-dimensional data, bad for embeddings, because Euclidean distance blows up on vectors with different magnitudes. Long dog and short dog look far apart, even though they should be close. Also, in high dimensions, all Euclidean distances start looking equal. The curse of dimensionality. Cosine sidesteps both problems. Jaccard similarity, different beast. Doesn't work on continuous vectors. Works on sets. You take 2 sets, say the words in document A and the words in document B. Jaccard is the size of the intersection divided by the size of the union. Useful for measuring overlap between token sets, tag sets, user preferences. Not applicable to dense embeddings, but relevant for sparse representations and set-based similarity tasks. Different tool, different problem. Raw dot product. Just multiply the vectors component-wise and sum. Doesn't normalize for magnitude, which means it does care about length. That can be good. If your vectors already encode importance in their magnitude, for example, TF-IDFW, YHTAD vectors, the dot product is exactly what you want. When embeddings are already unit length though, cosine and dot product become identical, which is why some LLM providers ship pre-normalized vectors. Makes the choice moot. Beat 3. Practical Python. Here's what the code actually looks like in the wild. Import NumPy. Write the function dot product divided by the product of L2 norms. That's the whole implementation. In production, you use scikit-learn's cosine similarity for a single pair, or FAISS, or scan, for millions of vectors at once. But the function itself, 5 lines. Same math since 1957. Where you actually see it. Semantic search. Embed the query. Embed every document, rank documents, by cosine to the query. Recommendation systems. Embed users and items, rank by cosine. RAG, retrieval-augmented generation. Before ChatGPT answers your question, it embeds the question and pulls the top k most cosine-similar chunks from a knowledge base. Feeds those chunks to the model as context. Cosine is the glue. Why cosine is the default in search plus RAG? 3 reasons. 1. It ignores magnitude, so long docs and short docs get compared on equal footing. 2. It maps to a clean, bounded interpretability range. 0 to 1, higher is more similar. 3. It's cheap. Compare a query to a billion documents and cosine. Parallelizes trivially on modern hardware. The Hugging Face docs, the OpenAI docs, and every vector database default to cosine. Pick a fight with that at your peril. 3 takeaways before the quiz. 1. Cosine similarity. Dot product divided by product of magnitudes. Measures the angle between vectors. Ignores length. That's the whole point. 2. Euclidean is worse for embeddings. Magnitude confuses it, and high dimensions flatten all distances. Jaccard is for sets. Dot product for weighted vectors. Different tools. 3. Cosine is the default in search and RAG. Bounded range. Cheap. Parallelizes. Every vector database defaults to it. Fight it at your peril. Quiz 1. What's the cosine similarity formula? A plus B. B dot of A and B divided by norm of A times norm of B. C. Norm of A minus B. Or D. Intersection over union. B. Dot product divided by the product of magnitudes. C is Euclidean distance. D is Jaccard. A is nonsense. Cosine gives you a number in -1 to +1. How aligned the two vectors are in direction. Quiz 2. Why is cosine better than Euclidean for word embeddings? A cosine is newer. B cosine ignores magnitude, so a long doc DOG and a short doc DOG count as similar. C Euclidean doesn't work at all. Or D cosine uses less memory. B. Magnitude independent. In embeddings, vector length correlates with things you don't care about. Word frequency, document length. Cosine strips that out and keeps only direction, which is what carries meaning. Euclidean can't do that. Quiz 3. Where does cosine similarity actually run in the wild? A nowhere important. B. Just word-to-vec training. C. Every semantic search, every recommendation system, every RAG pipeline, the default in every vector database. Or D. Only in academic papers. C. Everywhere. Hugging Face, OpenAI embeddings, Pinecone, Weaviate, PG Vector, all default to cosine. Every time ChatGPT retrieves context to answer your question, cosine similarity is running. 5 lines of code, absurd amount of leverage. Back to the puzzle. You have vectors. You compare them by angle, cosine similarity, boom. But cosine assumes each word has one vector, which is a problem because bank, the money place, and bank, the riverbank, get averaged into one gibberish vector, which sits in an awkward spot in space. That's the polysemy problem. Next video. Next time, polysemy, the bank problem. When one word has 2 meanings and your embedding averages them into gibberish. How this became Word2Vec's biggest embarrassment and what fixed it. Hit subscribe.